Baki series had a lot of characters, some are weak, some are strong, and some are represented as strong, but at some point in the plot we find out that they are not as strong as they were shown from the beginning. I thought that you liked my previous video about overrated Baki characters, so today is the time for part 2. Part 2 of Baki characters who turned out to be not as strong as they were expected to be. Hector Doyle. He's a death row inmate who escaped the Caglios prison to find a suitable opponent to face him. He survived his execution on the electric chair and does not use a specific fighting style, but is extremely dangerous due to his modified body. He had a freaking huge arsenal of blades, explosions and other stuff which improves his fighting capability. At first glance he looks strong as hell, escaping the prison, destroying Rob Robinson, an American kickboxer, with no problem, even giving some damage to Oliva. But later, in a fight against Kosho Shinogi, we learned that he is not so strong at all. Yeah, he won that fight, but he was cornered and almost defeated. He had to use his probably ultimate weapon, an explosion in his chest. He was almost defeated with no chance in a fight with a character who is not really strong, to be fair. And then, when he faced a real man, Retsu, who also used his huge arsenal of weapons and who is not so easy to be surprised by any type of weapon and trick that Doyle often used, our poor prisoner was destroyed. He would be dead if not Jack, who for some reason tranquilized Retsu and leaves. After all that, Doyle's face was pummeled by Katsumi a few times. Till finally he admitted that he is a side character who was introduced only to show how strong are some of the main characters are, especially Retsu and Katsumi. Katsumi Orochi. Here comes our destroyer of the side characters. Katsumi Orochi was not always so strong and dangerous as he was when he pummeled Doyle's face. At the maximum tournament he was represented as a guy who is a master of karate, he is karate itself. He is the son of a legendary Doppo Orochi and was trained by him for years. He is known as the lethal weapon and the strongest karate user after Doppo. He was so self-confident and powerful, defeating Roland East as a wrestler known as the Joint Maniac with ease. In his second fight he defeated Kaoru Hanayama, who was shown as tough guy in a fight with Baki. But suddenly he faced a real man, Red Tsukayo, and was destroyed by the power of 4000 years of Chinese martial arts. In other words, he was defeated with one punch. To be fair, he was overrated only in that season. Later he became much stronger and actually became one of the strongest characters in the series. I don't know why he had to be destroyed that badly at the tournament. Probably to build a strong opponent for Baki in his following fight in the semi-finals. The main character needs to fight an overpowered beast to get stronger, and Retsu was the best for the role of a guy who will power up Baki this time. Kiyomi Kato. Yeah, he never was strong guy in the Baki series, but at the start of season 3, look at this badass entrance. Look what he did to Dorian and how confident he was. He cut off his ear and even chase-wounded Dorian to finish him. But he forgot that this is not his time to power up by defeating a side character. He is a side character, so all he gets from Dorian is just
skull fracture, brain contusion, broken nose, loss of teeth numbers 4 to 7, also teeth numbers 1 and 2, cervical spine injury, incomplete fracture of the left clavicle, right humerus, incomplete fracture, right hand scaphoid fracture, and multiple fractures of the metacarpals. Incomplete fracture of the left and right forearms, left metacarpals and middle phalanx also with incomplete fractures. Additional fracture of the proximal phalanx. Right 4th and 5th ribs, compound fractures. Left 7th rib, complete fracture. Left femur and patella. And that's not even a full list of his injuries.
Actually, to be fair, he was not overrated, it's just his brutal entrance that made him look cool, and for a minute I truly believed that he became a guy who can do shit. But in the end, he's that same guy who can't do shit at all, of course, compared to other main characters. In the Baki world, he is somewhere there, a little bit above professional fighters. Sikovsky. Another prisoner who looks badass from the beginning. He escaped from Evan's prison in Russia. To do this, he had to climb up the smooth surface of a missile silo since the prison was converted from an old ICBM base. As he escaped walking through a snowy storm, he encountered Alexander Galen, a powerful wrestler from Russia. Their fight wasn't shown, but it is known that the convict brutalized him. Also, he brutally massacres the random guy's face, who was made only to show how strong Sikovsky is. Also, he destroyed Kanji Igri, who was hyped up at the Maximum tournament before. Once one-on-one and once when Igri called his two friends and used a gun by himself. Wow, he looked so strong after that. But then some accidents happened. He ends up at the arena fighting Jack and then Gaia. Poor guy had no chance. This guy turned out to be just a whipping boy for the Hanma brothers. You can say that every one of the prisoners was overrated, but I think Dorian did his job well, fighting Doppo, Katsumi, Retsu, defeating two side characters, Suedo and Kato, and for me he did more than just lose to show how strong the main characters are. Same shit with Yanagi, he was able to fight Baki and Shibukawa for a short time, he defeated Doyle with no problem and even poisoned Baki. I think his job as one season villain was done well. And Spec. He messed around with the police using his cell as a resting place only, and what a fight against Hanayama. I would say it was the best fight in that season, so I can't say that he was overrated from the beginning. Everything he did was great for a one season villain. Actually, he needed only 2-3 episodes to show himself better than Doyle and Sikorsky did in the whole season. Amonai. During the Maximum tournament, he was Yujiro's comrade. Yujiro even brought him to participate in the tournament. And what is more interesting, he is the guy who slapped Yujiro. Slapped Yujiro Hanma, the strongest creature on Earth, and Yujiro ate that slap and did nothing.
Are you certifiable? That's a good man's life you just destroyed. Go get a doctor. Hurry! But genuine admiration. But as a man, I don't think there's anything about you worth liking. You have no conscience, Yujiro. You're built like a fortress, but your mind's twisted like an...
During the first round of the Maximum tournament, he was kicking Minoru Yamamoto's face and knocked him out without a hint of concern about Minoru's life. Amonai stopped only because of interference of the judges. But at some point in the second round of the tournament, Amonai started to worry about Doppo Orochi. He even said that there is no way for Doppo to beat him due to the injuries and repeatedly begged Mitsunari Tokugawa to stop the fight and declare him the winner. And here is the time when Yujiro, the mage that turns promising characters into the garbage, comes and strikes again, chopping Amonai's shoulder with his axe-like hand and throwing him to the wall like a trash.
このふぬけが敵に勝ちを哀願するとなんという軟弱消えせ
What a pathetic loser, slapping Yujiro's face first, almost killing a guy in a fight with no regrets, and then begging to stop the fight and declare him the winner. I feel Yujiro's desire to knock this guy out. One of the most disappointing characters, even though he fought Doppo pretty well. Kanji Igri. He's an old pro wrestler known all over the world. This guy is a joke. He is said to be the strongest wrestler in the world, the killer. His motto is fierce fighting spirit. He defeated two guys at the Maximum tournament, an American kickboxer named Rob Robinson and Kiryuzan, the mighty sumo Yokozuna. But in a fight with Baki, he used his stupid psychological games and was defeated to my delight. Also another garbage guy Sikovsky defeated him 2 times as I said before, which makes this guy Igri even more pathetic. One of the most annoying characters from the Maximum tournament who was represented as a strong and respected all around the world fighter, but he is a garbage. Maybe it's just me cause I don't like this guy, leave your comments down below. A small bonus with manga spoilers. Even Biscuit Oliva looks like a garbage sometimes. What do we know about him? He is the strongest man in the USA and also a guy who is respected by Yujiro, but in the manga when he fights Yujiro and tries to overpower him, lol. Also when Oliva meets a new guy in the series, Nomino Sukune 2nd, he was destroyed by this sumo guy. He gets all of his ribs broken by Nomi's sheer grip strength and was slammed onto the floorboard. Luckily he survived, as Nomi stated that if it had been a solid concrete floor, he would die. So as we can see, the top tier characters in the Baki series could be easily destroyed by Yujiro or some new guy to show how strong that new guy is and how Baki will overcome all the difficulties and defeat that new overpowered guy. That is how Baki plot works most of the time. If this video was interesting to you, leave a like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below, am I right or maybe I'm just talking shit. Anyways, thank you for watching, love you all, goodbye.
Me and none of them not travel for any trip. In the seat of corruption.